So now, longtime Maryland Democratic Congressman Steny Hoyer has yet to announce whether or not that he will seek a 24th term in next year's midterms. If he does run, he'll face a primary challenger who plans to make Hoyer's age a campaign issue. The party is seeking a surge of younger Democrats. We'll see whether or not they can make that happen. One of them is Harry Jaron, a Democrat who plans to primary Hoyer, is with me now. And sir, good morning to you. Hoyer's 85, you're 35. That's some easy math. You are from Maryland. You write grants for a living for EMS. You're also a volunteer firefighter. What's wrong with Steny Hoyer?
Sure, and thanks for having me on, Bill. I want to be clear. This is not just about age. This is really about energy. Do you have the energy to adapt to a rapidly changing political situation? I don't know when it became okay for a congressman to just hold office and keep it as a lifetime appointment forever until he leaves his office feet first. Steny has not been holding town halls in person in the district for years, and his district office isn't even in the district. It's my constituent services office. If I, as a resident of Anne Arundel County, need to go to that office for some sort of service, it's not even in the district. So I just don't know when this became okay. And by the way, this speaks to a larger disconnect between our current crop of politicians in Congress, especially those in their 70s and 80s, and the voters that they actually serve.
Okay, so here's Richie Torres. He's a Democrat, colleague of yours from the Bronx in New York. He makes a point about the politics of the party.
I feel like there is a recognition that we went too far left on immigration. But, you know, I feel there needs to be a fundamental restructuring within the Democratic Party, a return to a rational center. But I worry that the momentum is on the side of hysterical, hyperbolic resistance, and the enormous expenditure of time and energy and resistance might crowd out the restructuring and moderation that needs to happen within the Democratic Party.
It's a very interesting comment. I don't know, but you maybe even agree with that. What's Hoyer done wrong? I mean, do you consider yourself a center-left Democrat? Do you consider yourself progressive? Like, if you were to win, how would you govern?
Sure. So I would consider myself a pretty center-left kind of candidate. I don't think the differences between me and Steny are so much ideological as I don't think that Democrats have presented a good plan or a good vision for how they'd move the country forward. I think we've been defining ourselves as the anti-Trump party for the better part of, it's been over 10 years now, but we haven't really presented voters with a clear vision of how we would govern the country if we got back into power. The basic problem in our political system, I think this is bigger than just Democrats or Republicans. The bigger problem is that Congress has not solved basic issues over the last 30 or 40 years, and they've outsourced more and more of legislative power to the executive branch. They haven't been able to make tough decisions. A lot of these decisions also get pushed to the judiciary. And so, if we think in terms of like a third grade civics class, legislation is supposed to originate in Congress and then work its way through the system up to the president. And that's not what's been going on the last 30 or 40 years.
Well, you know, if Steny Hoyer wants to run for re-election, let me show the audience what his result was in 2024. He won in the state of Maryland by 2-1. I mean, that's easy. You could walk that touchdown in without getting touched. So if he wants to seek re-election, it seems like it's his. Harry, thanks for coming on. Good luck to you. Appreciate hearing you out today. Thanks.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, you bet.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kayleigh McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.